All righty, welcome back to the Red Corner. We got the whole gang here. We got Slim, we got Bones, we got Devo, and here we go. The Phillies start their season with a 2-1 record. We won our first series, right, down in Nationals Park. And Slim, what'd you see down there, baby? What do you think about the first series?
I got to give it an I for inconsistent, right? The on Thursday, I know there was a lot of shadow talk, but we really didn't see a lot of hitting. We saw, 13, 14 strikeouts for the Washington starter, Gore. Good call on Bones, who said he was he's going to be a nice-looking arm this year. Good call by me saying not to panic too early, that the runs are going to come a little bit later. But with that said, we saw the inconsistency, and we saw it in the two big names, right, with Marsh, and then we see it with Stott. They were terrible the first game. They had a huge turnaround the second game. And then even today, we go back. What did we score? One run today?
One run in the ninth.
So I think we have a great team. I do believe we're pretty much probably force two in like a 4-force National League race, I would say, for the World Series here. But with that said, the things that have always plagued us are plaguing us again a little bit. The inconsistencies of the bat. I know it's more timely, but those haters do got a little bit of fuel, I think, after this series.
Bones.
Yeah, I mean, especially today, just they were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
Rough.
So, but they were also down JT, Turner. We had Rojas out there, who had a nice piece of situational hitting, which I sent in the group earlier, and he had an opposite field hit to right field. So, but as for Thursday and Saturday, I wasn't a thing. I didn't think the shadows were. I wasn't going to use an excuse, but Saturday they weren't there and they weren't striking out as often. 19 strikeouts on Thursday compared to a lot less yesterday. And also the other person I didn't really. I mean, he gave us the insurance runs in the ninth on Thursday. It was Realmuto. He had 4 strikeouts as well. And coming in that 5 spot, it's not what you want to see coming out of your 5-hitter.
And that triple was a little chintzy too, right? Like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was an error, honestly. He should have caught that ball.
That's like a whole nother argument. Yesterday with Bohm and Stott, clearly both errors, and then later in the game they were changed to hits. So it's like Kruk said post game yesterday. I don't know. He goes, Tony Gwynn would bet 5,000 in today's game because
that Stott one. I thought that was like on the outer band of that's clearly an error. It's not an easy play, but that's an error, right?
Yeah.
That's a play that he has to get his glove on or at the very least knock down.
Yeah.
But it's the way they score the game nowadays.
Bones was clearly an error.
Bones was clearly an error. And guys, chat is open, and we see we have a nice little live viewership here, so welcome aboard. And, I got to say this, boys. This is part of my script. If you have not yet, please subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. We have all of our socials floating down there. And if you have not yet subscribed on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, please do. We got an active chat already. Steve Costello saying, Nats relief pitcher walks Marsh, then beans Schwarber. Bohm swings the first pitch, gets to a double play with bases loaded. Come on, that was today. Yeah. That was the most painful. Bone just hit on the 0 for 10 in running scoring position. That was definitely the number one. Struggle.
Was that the ball where he slammed his bat too?
I think so.
Oh no, that was a different one, wasn't it?
Right.
Might have been. But one positive thing I seen come out of the weekend from the bats, Nicky C, 4 walks in 3 games.
You stole my thunder.
Huge.
No, that was big.
And it's a huge thing to see Nicky C with his patience. I think with the Nationals, it's all a little bit of like extra spring training, a little bit of fool's gold, a little bit more warming up. I think we got lucky with the draw here. I think we're getting a little bit lucky with the Rockies coming in early this week because we know,
Good
like you
call.
said, I think we know what the real test is going to be. It's going to be the Dodgers, right? And we're going to see where we stand with the Dodgers. These two teams are teams that we're supposed to beat the crap out of. So 2-1 is basically the bare minimum of what we got to do. And I think the reason it's 2-1 is that, like I said, that the theme word for me is going to be that inconsistency. Because if not, we hit in runner scoring position today. It's a 3-0 series. We move on. Now we have. I'm not sure if the Mets won today or not, but the Mets were 1-1. I know there's still 159 games left, but hey, every game can count.
Now, I always say against the subpar, sub 500 teams, you got to win this series at the very little. That's a plus. And then the sweep on these 3-game series is the plus, right? 4-game series, tough to get a sweep in the major leagues always. But we did our job, right? But one of the themes, and I see you guys in the chat, we will get to you. I wanted to kind of call out all 3 games. We didn't really get after the starter, if you noticed that, right?
Yeah.
So that's something to keep an eye on. Look, it's the first series of the year, but guys, we got to call it as we see it, right? We got to react to what we're seeing, no matter when it is or why it is. But yeah, all 3 games we did not get to the starter, so. That's kind of like the hitting coach is not happy. I can tell you that because that's a reflection on him and their game plan. That's 3 straight games. So that's not good.
Well, I think we got after Irvin more than the 2 lefties yesterday.
Yes, we did.
But the 2 lefties, they clearly struggled against in Mackenzie Gore
Right.
and then today.
Right.
But that's going to be where Turner's going to be batting leadoff in them situations. Like today, he was out hurt, but against the lefty, he would have been batting leadoff today again. So he'll have to get the tempo started at the top of the lineup with that.
Yeah, what do you give his initial grade for Thursday? It wasn't. He didn't do well. I know before I even got to watch the game, the Phillies we were in the bottom of the first inning. I missed the whole top of the first half of the inning with Turner, which was the problem we were all foreseeing, that we were going to have these quick at-bats and innings. Yeah, so it's still an open conversation. That's why, again, go back to I give him the eye for incomplete. Things still got to get done here.
He took the first pitch for a ball, so
that's good.
Progress.
But, the other thing I didn't like this weekend was today it wasn't a factor, but the last 2 days, the middle relief pitching.
Yeah.
Not good at all.
No, and I want to hit on that. And let's kind of work our way back, right? Let's have a little bit of organization. So we're starting with game 1. Obviously, Jordan Romano did not have a great debut, right? So he looked nervous, right? That was the rap on him, that he just looked visibly nervous on the mound, right? He was looking up. He was not focused, and that showed. So, again, first game, but that's one of the things to call out. And then today,
Kirkering looked good. I think Alvarado looks good. Strom looked good. Who are we picking on today?
Well, today
I know they busted it open a little bit. I didn't see exactly who got in.
Yeah, so last night we had Carlos Hernandez, the guy we picked up on waivers. Right. He had his debut, and he did not look good either.
He didn't look right.
No,
so none of our low-tier guys are looking good. So that makes sense to me. I think I still think we're primed for a trade to get another reliever. Who we're going to trade for one? Like you said, it seems like we have 4 people, three or four relievers who are solidified. It stinks with Romano that we paid him like $8 million because he's not really going to go anywhere. But Hernandez,
we'll see. I mean, he's not supposed to be a low tier guy, though, right?
Right. So if he stinks, that's the problem, no doubt about it. Because it looks like we're going to have to bring in two other relief pitchers at this point to help out with the depth there. I hear you. I'm not expecting Hernandez. I'm not expecting. I hate to say it, I'm not expecting Romano Romero to be a guy. I'm just not.
So I actually just heard the other day, his last name's actually pronounced Romano, but until he starts pitching better, he'll be Romano on this show.
Yeah, I'd rather have
it's Romano.
Yeah.
That's funnier than any
Interesting.
joke Ray Romano ever said. So if he would have said my name's Ray Romano.
No, you're not a Ray Romano guy?
Oh, if he was a Ray Romano guy, I'm saying
Oh,
it would have been his best joke if he would have came out. I mean, it's a great joke. Say your name's Ray Romano, you know?
oh, like the Mano? Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. All right, so that's negative. Let's talk a little positive on game two. Yeah, a nice gutsy performance by Jesus. Don't call him Jesus. Slim Luzardo, right? He showed composure. He let up that 2-run homer,
He
but
ended
then
up
he
getting
settled in.
he ended up getting double-digit Ks, I think. And the first 2
11.
innings, he was floating around 40 pitches after 2 innings. So that was
Yes.
pretty impressive to see him bounce back there. Obviously,
Very
when you're
impressive.
striking out- when you're striking out a lot of guys, your pitch count might be a little higher. But I was like, I was biting my nail saying this is not looking good for our boy. And the next thing you know, it was piece of cake for him. So that was
Yep.
good to see.
Yeah, he settled in. He was getting that like the inside corner to lefties. He was getting that strike called all day long, and
He
then
was.
he was just bringing that curveball over, sweeping over. It looked great. The only thing I had the tinker with was that steal James Wood had. It's like he didn't even like pay attention when he just like waltzed in, and
I saw that.
and I don't know.
And that's the
The
same
first
thing.
game, in the first game, Romuto didn't look too bad behind the plate, but yesterday I don't think he looked as sharp behind the plate as he did in game one.
Yeah, I don't think he's looked great. I mean, obviously he went down yesterday when he fouled the ball off his foot and left the game. But the first game and a half, he has not looked super comfortable in general. So we'll have to keep an eye on that because again, that triple, I'm not on the red corner scoring system. That's not a triple. That's an error.
Yeah.
But neither here nor there. But yeah, speaking of
back to-
Luzardo, those 11 Ks, that was the second most ever for a Phillies debut after Jim Bunning he was tied with. So shout out to him. That's a hell of a debut.
Really? What about I guess someone would be Vince Velasquez? Didn't he have 16 strikeouts in his debut?
I don't think so.
Well, unless I'm reading that stat, well, maybe Vince Velasquez is number one. It says
Maybe.
it's the second most ever.
Would he tie
He's
Jim
tied.
Bunning?
He tied Jim Bunning.
Oh yeah, Vince Velasquez 16 against the Padres.
Oh wow, that's a hell of a stat.
Yeah.
What did you want to say, Slim?
Going back to Romano, another thing I found out this weekend when he got in is he's not a guy that he can't hold anybody on. So anytime you see that with a relief pitcher, especially, it's just a huge red flag for me. So like it was all just red flags for us with that. I still saw, like I said, a lot of positives. Kirkering looked nasty, but yeah, Romano I'm very super duper nervous with. Hernandez I'm not expecting anything from. Luzardo, I was starting to feel that way before he had the little turnaround, so I'm excited again. And now that brings us back to our boy who started today, Nola, who after 12 years, I still don't know if he's any good or not, you know? So talking about Nola today, I think one thing we saw is I think we saw a little bit of veteran savvy move there. I really feel like the game was over after it got 3-0 and they hit the home. I know it's not technically, but it felt that way. And I felt like keeping Nola in the game was kind of a white flag. It's the first weekend we've seen what the relief pitching looked like. We don't need to do any more damage to any mental or any physical damage to anybody else. So it's like, Nola, do us a favor, go get yourself rocked for another inning, and we'll go back to Philly tomorrow, bro. It's no big deal. I kind of felt that.
Yeah. I mean, this was kind of a Aaron Nola of all Aaron Nola starts, right? He's durable. He'll go out there every fifth day. We know this, but we also know that what feels like every 3 to 4 starts, he's going to get to that fourth inning. He's going to get to that fifth inning, and it just kind of becomes a ticking time bomb, right? Everyone starts to get tight. You start to get that feeling of when's the homer coming, and that inning was when it kind of all blew up. And Slim, you mentioned this. It's the ongoing theme, right? It's always that it feels like it gets to the point where it's just one batter too much, right? Where that 3-run game became the 5-run game. And Slim, I know you're a gambling guy. The win probability when you go from 3 to 5 runs, it's got to be like a 40% swing, something crazy. So,
yeah, but really, I'm kind of feeling I felt like watching that game that once that 3-run homer happened, that the game was over. So I think in a more competitive game, you would take him out right away. They let them in there, I think, probably because of pitching depth related reasons and kind of throw. I know,
right.
I know we hung around a bit, but yeah, I think in a more later in the year, I think that's a game where you probably pull him after that first home run. But instead, we kept him in there, I think, which was kind of dumb, but also kind of, I hate to say it, like a win,
So I don't know if I'm with you on that, right? Because I think at that point he had 1 or 2 hits left up, the first homer. And it's funny, as I'm watching the game, now that we're kind of in this podcast where I take notes on the game. So it's funny. This is a typical Aaron Nola scenario, right? This is literally my notes from the game, word for word. Nola has looked great. Knuckle curve on point through the 4th. Very next note. Josh Bell up in big AB. Bottom 4, man on first and second. 3-run homer.
Right.
So it went from looked great to, oh, here we go, after he hit the one batter. I think he hit their catcher, right, on the foot. And then now it's like he starts spiraling. I'm with you on the second homer, though.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, especially with the second homer, no doubt about it. But with that first homer, like you said, it was typical Aaron Nola. So we kind of
typical Aaron Nola.
Maybe stat wise, it was a little premature, but I think us, Rob Thompson, and his gut, and anyone else watching the game, knew that his time was past. So keeping him in there, like I said, I felt like that was the game. And I'm not really like tomorrow there's going to be people, or even right now, there's going to be people banging on him for the 2 home runs. Oh, it wasn't just. It's always these multi home runs, right? Well, right. I'm with you, but I really don't think the second one meant that much.
I feel you.
It's funny you had them notes. One of our subscribers, Chris, had texted me, typical old Nola, and old Nola inning, and I wrote back after the Bell home run. This is the modern day Philly killer. And he said, what, the 4th inning? I said, no, Josh Bell.
Yes.
And he has 16 homers against the Phillies. It's the most home runs he has against any team.
You know what's funny about Bell? I would love to see the splits on his overall hits he has versus how many of them are home runs. Because I feel like the guy is just hitting nothing. I mean, 16 is a ton. Yeah. Like, when you show his name, I think it was you, Bones, that sent the list of the players that he's comparison. It's all like Hall of Fame dudes. Yeah. And then it's Bell, which is hilarious. He just crushes the ball. Let's spend a little time in the chat here because we're getting a lot of activity. So Steve C. Go ahead. You want to call it out? Some stuff?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of with Shane Riley with the whole schedule loss thing, And I think with this schedule loss, that kind of exemplifies my point with Nola. So I agree with our buddy Shane Riley there with this kind of felt like a schedule loss. Yeah, we got to kick butt versus the Rockies, and then we got to compete versus the Dodgers. If we don't compete versus the Dodgers, that really tells us how much we got to grow during this year.
100%. Another couple of good things.
I really don't like the term scheduled loss when the scheduled loss we got is at Taiwan Walker when he starts.
No, I agree. Right, I 100% agree.
Yes, there's a couple schedule loss comments.
And he's definitely going versus the Dodgers. He's not going to be seen this.
No, Thursday he's going to go.
Okay, so he's the first. So it's a 4-game series versus the Dodgers.
No.
It's not Thursday.
No, Thursday against the Rockies.
It's a 3-game series.
So
Thursday against the Rockies, the finale.
We should be 5-1, looking to go 6-1 with Walker versus the Rockies, which sounds pretty good. This Rockies lineup really isn't it.
Love the way that sounds. All right, so before we transition to our Feel the Love segment, I wanted to kind of quick little chat here, and then there's a couple things we got to hit on, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I hit on them. So Stephen C. says, bullpen worries me. Aside from Strahm, Kirkring, and Alvarado, who has streaky tendencies, Who do you trust in there? I'm already over the Corky Romano experiment. Corky Romano and Slim. Who did you say? His name escapes. Oh, Little Dicky.
I
Yeah.
said it to you, and then simultaneously it was all over Twitter and stuff. And honestly, the season's done, man. Anytime he gets in, I can't take this. He's really going to have to do something for me to be able to
Yeah.
take him serious because he kind of looks like a few of our buddies that play in these beer league softball leagues. Like, yeah, I'm 100% with the Corky Romano. I can't imagine he's having an easy time in that locker room right now.
But to answer your question, I would say, and you hit on him.
Wedgie.
Yeah. Alvarado, definitely a bullish on him. He's looked great. Kirkering, yeah. Strom, yeah, those are the big three, man. So you're right. Like the Ruiz, the Hernandez, and Romano, the jury's out, and they have a lot to prove. Boys, before we transition to Feel the Love, we got to talk on two things that we have not mentioned. Briefly, we did. What do we think about these back spasms on Trey Turner? I mean, we started the year thinking he was going to be the everyday leadoff man. Now, 2 out of the 3 first games, he hasn't even played. So are we worried about this? Bones?
Yeah. Just because, like, it came out of nowhere. I feel like...
Right.
Like, MLB should have something in play along the lines like NFL. Like, you got to give, like, an injury report because this just pops up. And I'm surprised they don't have it, considering all the money that's being bet on stuff.
Right.
Like, why hasn't this come up? And it said this has been going on since, like, the middle of spring training. And this is the first we're hearing of it, and we're in the first week. And we go back to the last year with his hamstring. He was hurt. Like, this is a lot of injuries are adding up here, and we're paying this guy $300 million, and he's already not living up to the expectations, and now he's already hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with Bones. That word expectation is what sticks out to me because once those expectations get higher and higher, then that's when these players start having back problems. If he has a back problem, he has 2 options. He can take cortisone shots and get himself back in the lineup and start swinging and playing defense, or he can get surgery. So if he's not doing one or the other, if he's someone who's not going to be getting surgery, he's going to be waiting, that's no good. All right, that tells me he's the guy who might not even be completely bought into winning World Series here.
No, 100%. Yeah, Bones. What did you say?
The other thing is, like, before when we first got Edmundo Sosa, like he was like a defensive specialist. I think the last couple of years he's really fell off that pedestal.
Right.
So, like, obviously he's better than Turner, but I think if this is going to keep on happening, I think we need to explore a better option as a backup for this scenario.
Listen to this, I haven't heard too much of this, but it does make sense. Going back to last year, I've been saying, a lot of people have been saying that Turner is the 3rd best defensive shortstop. The first best being the guy playing Gold Glove second base. Flip-flop Turner and stop. Let Turner play second. Let Stop play shortstop. What about that?
I think that's a 2026 serious conversation for sure.
So? Okay, it's not an original Slim thought, but a friend of Slim came in and said, "What about this?" And I said, "Let me chew on it." And now I'm bringing it back to the Red Corner group. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I just hope that this whole back thing, again, I hope it's just they're being cautious because it's very early in the season. They don't want to have him, start the year when banged up when they can avoid it. I hope it's just that. But anyway, let's transition here and keep it moving. Let's go to our weekly segment, Feel the Love, baby. So obviously, we introduced this partnership last week. Love City Brewing is the official beer partner of the Red Corner. We will be drinking their beers all season long, and take a look, all their socials and location above. Slim, let me start with you here. Who are you feeling the love for this week?
Honestly, it has to be one of the best Philly signings of all time. I'm not saying it's Pete Rose. It's not Jim Thome. But he's way, way up there. He has to be a top 10 guy, and I'm talking about our man Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber has had a fantastic start to the year. You bat him in the 4-hole, he hits a solo home run. You bat him in the 1 hole, he hits a multi RBI home run. As of right
Yup.
now, his OPS is 1 point. It's above 1,000. Each of the games, and I've been saying this since I've been saying this all off season, and I'm saying it now. We need him in the top 3, batting 1, 2, 3, preferably for me 1, because if he gets 4 to 5 at bats, he usually gets 1 hit. Sometimes it's a single, sometimes it's a home run, and then he usually gets walked. Let me go through it. I'm telling you, I didn't even look at these numbers yet. I got them right here. Let me pull them up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, March 27th, 4 at bats, 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 RBI, 1 walk. All right, 1 strikeout. All right, we know that. He hits a home run. So he hit right on the head. He had a single, he had a home run, which we bang. He had a strikeout, and he had his walk. That is standard Kyle Schwarber. The next game, he gets 5 at bats. Bam! He gets another 2 hits, 3 RBIs, 2 strikeouts, which we know is going to happen, and the one's a home run. Today was basically the worst of the worst for Kyle Schwarber. He got 4 at bats, no walks, 1 hit, and a strikeout. That's basically as bad as Kyle Schwarber gets, right? About a guy who bats about 250 with a single. So I really do believe he's a top 10 Philly signing of all time. We have to bring him back at this point, right? If we don't bring back Schwarber, and even watching that first game, he had a homer and Harper had a homer. And I know people all over the advanced metrics say Harper is by far the best hitter on the Phillies, and he probably is. But Schwarber is absolutely as scary. You know, when if you need to make a pitch, he's one of the scariest guys in the entire league. I don't care who you are, you know.
So let me just, before I kick it over to Bones, top 10, I might agree with you, but he's not even top 3 on the team right now, though. Right? Harper and Wheeler. Yeah, they're 1 and 2.
You can argue Wheeler. You could have a Wheeler conversation. If we're being serious, we could have a Wheeler conversation.
No, you
absolutely could. You could. One guy plays every day, one doesn't.
All right, that's fair. No,
fair.
We'll have to have that conversation because you're right. No, you're right. I mean, Schwarber's the real deal, but Wheeler's. And also, you got to factor value in too.
I said contracts, right? So who's getting paid here, right?
And Wheeler definitely had a better value than Schwarber did.
Who got paid more? What's the number?
In the beginning, Schwarber probably
got a good deal. Who gets paid more?
Well, right now, Wheeler's one of the highest paid players in the league right now, on a year-by-year basis. But anyway,
extension.
So Schwarber is 40.
Chris is cooking. Chris just got cooked. What are you talking about?
It's 4 years, $79 million. He's less than $20 million a year. I'm not sure if you get any better value than that. So what was Wheeler's original contract?
No one loves Wheeler as much as I do. I'm saying that initial signing of I meant to say Schwarber there. The initial signing of Wheeler was a better value deal than Schwarber, but we got to move on here. We'll debate this in the future.
He got $42
Bones,
million compared to $19 million. How's that a better value? Figure that out.
You're not even listening to what I'm saying. So you just
first deal.
Yeah, you're done. You're done. You're done. You're not listening.
2022, right?
No, the initial. No. Bones, who's your field of love?
Well, let's get the initial deal first. And how much did he get paid in the initial deal so we can actually figure
$120 million.
Yeah.
For how many years? How many years?
5.
He got 125. So that's over $20 million too.
Yeah, and he was top 2 in Cy Young like 2 years. It's not. Yeah. This isn't even a close conversation. You're wrong. Stop.
He got $24 million. He got $5 million more a year, and the 1 year
Schwarber batted like 190 the 1 year. What are you talking about right now?
The 1 year he had the blister injury. His first year, Wheeler was nothing to write home about, and then the other year he only had I think 150 innings.
COVID didn't happen. That was a bullshit year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So my field of love, he only made the one appearance over the weekend, and it was Thursday. And it was Orion Kirkering.
Ooh.
Comes into the game and he lets off 2 chintzy hits, like bloopers. And then he gets second and third, and then he makes pitches to get out. And I think it's a huge confidence builder heading in for the start of the year, going into the year, because this is something that had like the last 2 years, like them runners would have came in, just because he would have been in his head. He's not making pitches and things like that, and he came out, made the right pitches, got the outs, and we moved on. And it was big key factor in that game when Washington was about to take the lead on the Phillies.
100%.
Then we come back and we take the lead after that. So
that's a great one
for the week. Even though we only pitched one game, but we'll see what happens, especially after what everybody else did in the bullpen from the middle relief standpoint that we talked about already.
No, that's a great one, and I'm going to do a short and sweet one, and this was alluded to earlier. My field of love is for Slim's favorite guy, Nicky C. And the reason I'm going to feel some love for him is he hasn't had the hits. He's not leading the team in slugging, but what he has proven so far in the first 3 games is he's seeing the ball, right? He's second on the team in on-base percentage. He's cooked. I'm looking at the chat. I said cooked. He's walked 4 times. So I'm loving the fact that Nicky C's not doing the chasing like we hate on the red corner. He's seeing the ball. He's getting on base. Let's hope that trend continues. I'm going to show some early love for Nick Castellanos. That was some good ones this week, boys. Shall we transition back to looking ahead to the week that we have coming here? What's going on here? There we go. All right, boys. So, cool. So we have a little bit of a Josh Bell call out here. So Josh Bell's stats against the Phils. Thank you, Shane. 252 average, 62 hits, 16 homers, 54 RBIs. Oh, my goodness. So he has like 25% of his hits were homers. That's impressive. Quick math, I think that's pretty close. But thank you for that. Josh Bell is the Jeff Conine absolute killer, Phillies killer.
Speaking of Jeff Conine, he got honored today for the Marlins Hall of Fame, and his kid hit a 2-run homer for them. Pretty cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Former Philly.
I always forget that his son is in the majors. All right, let's look at it. Slim, let's start with you here.
His son made a great catch at the wall last night as well. He robbed a home run off Pittsburgh. If I'm not mistaken, he made an unbelievable grab out in left field last night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Awesome.
But what's up?
Okay, so let us do the quick look ahead here. You mentioned this. We got the Rockies and Dodgers coming in town. Tomorrow's our home opener, right? A lot of people in the city are fired up. Talking to a lot of people that have tickets. There's some pending rain situation going on. But, Slim, take this however you want. We're going to talk more about this as the games unravel, and we're going to be going live later in this week. But anything you want to touch on Rockies and Dodgers-wise?
Yeah, so right off the bat, we have the guy that everyone's high on this year, Sanchez, starting tomorrow, right? So we should be looking at Sanchez dominating basically an underprivileged Rockies lineup, right? Who they're coming all the way to the East Coast. It should be a sweep. I hate to say it, but we should sweep these guys. Again, I'm worried about the inconsistencies, especially will become in game 2 with the relief pitching.
Right.
We'll come with that 5th starter with Walker, So with that being said, I look forward to us hopefully sweeping, but if I had to predict one, we'll probably be a little bit of a slip up. I'm thinking we'll be about 4-2 heading into that Dodgers series, where that Dodgers series is really going to be the meat of how we can assess these Phillies and where they're at.
Bones, where are you at on this series? Next couple coming up.
Chris touched on Sanchez starting tomorrow. For the Rockies, we got Marquez starting, right-handed pitcher. So we'll see how the lineup does against the right-hander. They fared well yesterday against Jake Irvin for the Nationals. We'll see how they do against him tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, it's the 2 aces, Wheeler versus Kyle Freeland. Freeland, a lefty. We'll see how the lineup reacts to that one. And we
Right.
probably won't see a Trey Turner tomorrow at the playing because of the day off on Tuesday.
Right.
Uh, and with the potential rain, they don't want to re-aggravate this injury he has. So,
And I think to your point, Diva, from the beginning of the show about us getting out on starters and a little bit on what Bones was just mentioning is with the Nationals, we're not seeing the top-notch relief guys. We're not seeing the top of the top of the top arms. I'm hoping some of our when you're not seeing the top of the top stuff, it's easier to be patient, right? So it's easier for
Right.
Castellanos to lay off the ball, something like that. I'm worried that because
It's a good point.
there's no reason why we shouldn't be patient against the Rockies. It's going to be interesting to see how if this helps us, warms us up for the Dodgers, or if this slows us down a bit. Because that whole playing up and down to your level of competition thing, I think is really going to come into play when we get to the middle of the week.
No, 100%. And my whole thing is you were predicting, the 4-2 or 5-1, whatever it is, right? But I think the main theme behind that is we all want to have that momentum going into the Dodgers series, right? The Dodgers, last I checked, are undefeated. What are they, 5-0 right now?
yep.
So 5-0 still. They're
Yeah.
mashing, and they're mashing without the torpedo bat, right? So they're as advertised, right? Those are some monstars over there. So I think it would be great for us to go in with the momentum, where our guys are like, look, we got a good record too. We're not worried about these guys. When our Phillies pitchers stack against their pitchers, that gives our hitters confidence that we don't got to get 9 runs, right? Hopefully we only have to get like 6 or 7. But because the Dodgers are going to get theirs.
And I don't know if the Dodgers are thinking about this, but it just popped in my head. The Phillies were 6-0 against the Dodgers last year. And
Yeah.
one of the series was when Harper and Schwarber came off of the DL and they swept them out there, and then they swept them here in Philly. So it's something to look at. I know, like I said, it just popped in my head. I'm sure
Right.
it's in their heads.
Absolutely, it's in their heads. Yeah, because both teams, right? They're listening to all these narratives all year long, and then the Phillies are like, "Look, we're undefeated against them," and they're thinking we didn't even get a win against them last year. So,
And
yeah,
they signed Roki Sayaki. He did not look good in
Sasaki.
the Sasaki. He did not look good in the opening series versus the Cubs, and he did not look good in his last outing. He looked terrible. He's looking terrible.
Looked
So
like he was crying yesterday, actually.
really,
Was he really?
okay.
Yeah, it looked like he was crying in the bullpen, in the dugout. It was weird.
Yeah, it did not seem like it. Really doesn't seem like he has the fastball. It looks like he doesn't have the gas. So hopefully he's still in the rotation when we get it, because they just paid him. Hopefully we get it. Hopefully we get a chance, because I think Schwarber, Harper, and even Nick Castellanos can take this guy yard.
And I'm just looking at the lineup for the the Rockies tomorrow. It's a small sample size against Christopher Sanchez, but the top 3 guys are betting 500 against them.
Oh wow, good eye though.
Yeah, it's only 8 at bats, but
Their shortstop is one of the more exciting young guys in the league, right, Bones?
yeah, Tovar.
Yeah, Tovar. I was checking it.
Yep.
So that's a guy to keep an eye on. In the chat, and Bones hit on this, any word on when Turner is going to play? I saw Todd Zalecki reported, Shane, that he's more than likely not playing tomorrow.
Yeah,
and as
likely
Bones hit
Wednesday.
on with the off day, he's probably going to be back Wednesday, assuming that we don't have anything too serious here, which obviously it doesn't seem like it. A back spasm is nothing too serious. So, guys, shall we transition here to Slim Pick'ems? Get some more picks.
Oh yeah, let's check it out. So right off the bat, I'm going to get a little sexy on you. I think. Let me take a look. Let me take a look here on my master tracker, because I hate to do it, but I think we might be able to find some value here on. Let me see. Because like I said, I would not like to do it. Got me a little off guard here for a second. All right. I think you can confidently take.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the same pool I went to before. You can take the
Guys, if you've ever seen the art of stalling, Slim is mastering that right now. So keep it going.
And here they come. Ready? 5-0 will not be 6-0. The Atlanta Braves are going to win tomorrow night versus the Dodgers.
Braves, okay.
Here are the three. You can take the Braves -1.5 tomorrow. You can take the Mets -1.5 versus Miami, and you might need a double down until you get the T1 to our buddy Walker, right? But you can take the Rockies at least one time versus the Phillies here. All right, so you can expect the Braves to win Game 1 tomorrow, the Mets to win Game 1, and maybe put a little bit on the Rockies and keep doubling down on that one because you're gonna get some juicy odds. And worst comes to worst, all your answers will be all your questions will be answered when Walker takes the mound and the Rockies are up 6-0 before he gets out the second inning.
So speaking of Taiwan Walker, Slim, if our schedule allows, we said we were going to go out to Love City Brewing, right? If on his first start.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Bones, when will that be? If again we can't, we're not 100% committing here, but we got to check our calendar.
Thursday would be his start. It's not against the Dodgers.
That's right. All right, so Thursday.
It's going to be against the Rockies.
Okay,
so that would be Thursday.
I don't know if they pushed it up or what.
Okay, so Thursday. That's good to know. All right, so it's probably a 7:05 game. All right, perfect.
And for those who
very nice.
Following along at home, Slim went 1-2 for his picks on Thursday for a little less than a unit. Both those plays, I hit them right on the head. If you got
105 game Thursday.
The Dodgers, you saved yourself about $1 in the price there. So I've been right on the number with the odds. And next week I'll make sure I have the exact odds for you. But you can definitely take the Mets and the Braves tomorrow, and scope out the Rockies if you have the if you like risk. If you like risk, scope out the Rockies.
So there you have it. Braves, Mets, Rockies, all run line. Slim Pickles. Guy, you should see the spreadsheets this man puts together. He's a friggin' brainiac with the gambling. So keep following all year long because we will be riding with Slim. And correction, yeah, unless we get the call from the bank man. But so we will not be able. Slim Bones updated us. That game is at 1:00 on Thursday, so we will not be able to do that. So we'll have to find another one in the future.
So by the time you get out of class, it'll be like 10-0.
Yeah. But it's better I don't watch.
Might be only the second inning though.
Exactly. Now listen, I sent him love last week, so I'm expecting him to turn it around here.
He's going to have a big outing. He's going.
Yeah, wait. Can we get a Netflix documentary on the Taiwan Walker turnaround this year or what?
Yeah, I think we can.
All right. So, are we ready to close it down with the only way we know how to close it down on the show?
Yeah, we'll keep it positive since the Phillies couldn't do it for us today. But on this date, March 30th, 2019, Bryce Harper hits his first career homer as a Philadelphia Philly.
Wow. Ooh. Kudos to that.
Gotta love that one.
That's a special one. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all we got. We'll keep it just a bunch of birthdays.
Slim, you want to say closing thoughts there?
No, just keep an eye on all of our social media. I'm at TR Slim. We got yourself. We got at the Red Corner. We're going to be going live more often. We're going to be doing more giveaways. So please stay plugged in. Like, follow, subscribe, share, and either way, tell someone about us. If you love us, if you hate us, whatever it is, tell somebody about us.
No, yeah, we love both. We love extreme emotions. That's what we say, love and hate. But as Slim just alluded to right there, we're going to tease it today because we're not going to make it officially official. But we will be doing twice a week moving forward. Now, the second day each week is going to be what we're going to call a floater day. The first day during the season will always be Sunday at 8 o'clock, like today, right? And then the second day each week, you just stay tuned in our socials. Based upon what's going on, the Phillies schedule, we'll make the announcement of when we're playing. Guys, thank you so much. Red Riders, we're out, and go Phils.